I have nearly 1,000 candy and I have only been using this method I'm about to show you for about 2 hours. So this method can make you so much candy in such a short amount of time. So are you ready to see this? So this new Haunted Creek area got released in the game yesterday, depending on when you're watching this video. But what came along in this update was something called the Cauldron. And what this says is, add spooky or ghostly ores to brew up rewards. Now, spooky and ghostly are new modifications in the game. I can have a look at my spooky items right here, and then we can have a look at my ghostly items right here, and you will notice a theme. They are all legendary, and that's going to play into the method I'm going to show you. So the quality of this is 240. The way you get your quality higher is by using certain modified items. So spooky, it will give you double the amount of ghostly modified ores. So you want to try and put spooky items inside of the cauldron instead of ghostly, but ghostly does still work, you'll just have a less quality percentage. And this is how you get candy super fast. So yesterday, when I was making my update video, I believed that farming in the Infernal Heart and getting the most highest percentage possible in the cauldron was the way to go. Like getting the mythics spooky or ghostly from the Infernal Heart, because if you didn't know, the Infernal Heart is the easiest place to get mythics in the whole entire game. But I never considered farming legendaries. Now, if we look in my inventory and type in the word spooky, you will see that I have hundreds of spooky legendary items. And then if we look at ghostly as well, you will see that I also have hundreds of ghostly legendary items. And that is because all of those items are very important to get candy. And the way you can farm legendary items is literally right here. Like, this place is not a bad place to get legendary items. Like, if we just do one dig, you will see how many legendary items I get from one pan. Watch this. Boom! So I literally just got like 40 legendary items. And I don't know if any of them are ghostly or spooky, because getting ghostly and spooky items are actually kind of hard to get. Spooky is the hardest to get, but ghostly ones are actually quite common. But there is an event that spawns called Hallows Eve. And you will see the Hallows Eve spawn in the bottom left. It will also have like a global announcement pop up when it does spawn. And Hallows Eve makes you get spooky items like 10 times easier. I'm not even joking. There is times when I'm digging where I get no spooky items at all. And then when a Hallow Eve occurs, I get 50. So for this method, you want to farm legendary items and try and get spooky and ghostly modifications on those items. So you want to use things like, solar magnifiers or solar tokens if you can't afford solar magnifiers. Because solar magnifiers and solar tokens, they spawn a little circle. I can actually spawn one now. We ain't going to be... Oh, there's actually one here. We don't have to spawn one. A solar token gives you little circles on the ground, which has a plus modifier chance and plus size. And the thing you are looking for is modifier chance, because this will boost your odds on getting ghostly and spooky items. So every time you see one of these solar circles, you want to be standing inside of them. But you can also get these things called solar magnifiers, where you can spawn your own solar token circle for 10 minutes. And the way you get solar magnifiers is you can find them right here. Where are they? There. Right here for 150 candy. Or you can literally farm them by completing excavations. I'm pretty sure they're in pretty much every excavation site, I believe, or 2 of them. Like, I know they're in A and B. I don't think they're in C, though. So A and B excavations, you can actually farm solar magnifiers. So for this method to work, to be able to get spooky and ghostly items, you can boost your chances by using solar magnifiers. And this is why I say this is the best method in the game. So if we head to our cauldron, it's not ready for another 11 minutes, so we might as well just wait that out a second. So what you want to do is literally just dig here and collect as many ghostly and spooky items as you can. But try and get legendary plus, because if you start farming epics, rares at spooky and ghostly modifications, you won't get that much candy, but with legendaries you do. Now, if you do want to try and get mythics, you can. It's just very hard to keep a consistent line of mythics. So it's a lot easier just to farm legendaries. It really is. And that's how I have so many. Because I was struggling to get candy last night when the update dropped. But now, you can see I have 1,000 candy. Like, I am not struggling. I can almost afford all of these. Like, I can afford Pumpkin Lord Blueprint if I wanted, Amulet of Spirits, Ring of Harvest. I can nearly even afford the shovel or the new pan if I wanted to. And this only took me like 2 to 3 hours of using this method. And I have so much I want to do with this cauldron when it finishes in 9 minutes. Like, I'm going to be spending Robux. You don't have to do this. But what you can do is you can actually speed up the cauldron for 39 Robux. And I'm going to do that to get as much candy as I can from all of these spooky legendaries. Like, look at this. I can pretty much have 15 cauldrons. But if I waited the full 30 minutes, which you can do, by the way, this is basically the free method. If you wait every 30 minutes, you will get around 60 to 100 candy per 10 spooky legendaries. And with ghostly ones, you get around 40 to 50, so it is a bit lower because the quality is lower. But with spooky items, you get double the quality, so you get so much more candy. Like, I'm not joking when I make like 80 to 100 candy per 30 minutes without spending Robux. But if I spend Robux and use all of these spooky items, like, I pretty much have like 1,000 candy just sitting here right there. It's all about just depositing your items into the cauldron and then waiting 30 minutes. And then while you're waiting the 30 minutes, go and get more legendaries with ghostly or spooky modifications. Now, ghostly are not bad to use. They just give you half of the quality. But like I said, they give you around 40 to 50 candy. While the spooky ones give you like 60 to 100. So you do get a lot more with spooky, but ghostly ones are still viable. And that is the best method in the game. So what you want to do is deposit your spooky and ghostly ores into the cauldron. And then once you're waiting the 30 minutes, you want to go up here and do a little bit of digging by the river. Do a little bit of panning to get more modified items. You can get Hallows Eve, which is super OP to help you to get spooky items. You can use solar magnifiers, like I said, to boost your chances of modifications. Now, if you look in your stats, you will have something called a modifier boost. Now, this is actually quite important. You want to have that modifier boost at least over 100%. Because the higher modifier boost chance, the higher chance you get on getting ghostly and spooky items. So you want to work on your modifier boost as much as you can. Like, I'm just using my normal like luck and speed build, which is Frostform Pendant, Antlers of Life, 2 Vortex Rings, 5 Umbrite, and 1 Mithril. With Summit Seeker, Speed 1, Mounted Climber, Sunblessed, and Abyssal. Because this area is not a cave, so Sunblessed works in here. And that gives me a good chance to get ghostly items. I rarely ever see spooky items unless there's a Hallows Eve event going on, which can occur randomly. But you can get ghostly legendaries very, very often. So you could be making like 60 candy per 30 minutes as a free-to-play player. You really could. And that will be more than enough to be able to afford all of those items up there, including these gummies and candy corns. And also, the cauldron doesn't just give you candy, it gives you items as well. Now, I have never paid for an item in this new area, but I have 2 luminant totems, ghost gummies, they're the little candies we've seen, and candy corns. So these are both of the candies that you can buy over here on this table. Now, I have never actually brought one of them, but I have 10 and 10 of these, just from you doing this cauldron method. So these cost 20 candy each, these cost 10 candy each, so you don't actually ever have to buy any of the items in this new area. You just need to spam the cauldron. Now, you can do another method to get candy, but this one isn't very viable. Now, every 24 hours, you can wear this mask that you should have got given for free. It's called the Spooky Mask. And if you walk up to an NPC and click them, you can scare them. And that normally gives you around 1 to 4 candy per scare. But you can only scare a certain NPC every 24 hours. So you probably make like 30 candy from scaring NPCs every 24 hours. So it's not very viable. But the cauldron is very viable. And I'm going to show you how good it is in 3 minutes. Oh, and there's the event right there. Hallows Eve. The night has come, my servants. Spooky modifier chance and 2 times luck. So you get extra spooky modifier chance, which is literally like 10 times the amount. And you also get 2 times luck. Like, look at this. I'm going to get a spooky legendary in at least 1 to 3 pans. Now, this is the first pan. Let's see if we get a spooky. We don't, but we go again. We did get a ghostly diamond, though. You will see ghostly ones quite often. And this is the second pan. Spooky Spectrite, there it is. So every like 1 to 3 pans, you will get a spooky legendary. So it will literally take you like 5 to 6 pans during a Hallows Eve to get a full amount for a cauldron. So it's super OP. And this is how people have like 7,600, 6,900, 5,000 candy on the leaderboards. Like the least on the leaderboards is like 2,500. And that's because these people are literally spamming Robux on the cauldron. That's how they're doing this. That's literally how. Like, I have 1,000 candy and I have not spent any Robux yet. But watch how much candy I make when we're about to spend like 300 to 400 Robux. So each different rarity of item gives you a certain amount of quality. Now, I'm pretty sure a ghostly legendary gives you 12%. And a spooky legendary gives you 24%. And then a spooky mythic gives you 50%. And a ghostly mythic gives you 25%. So it's actually more viable to just spam spooky legendaries. Now, our cauldron is ready, so let's claim our cauldron. Let's see how many candies we got. So we got 89, solar token, luminate token, luck totem, rainstone, cosmic resonator, and warp device. So you get a bunch of items just from farming legendary items. Now, we are going to be filling this cauldron a bunch of times. So let's start. So boom. 24%, 24%, 24, 24, 24, 24, up until you get 240. Now, we are going to speed this up. We're going to spend like 400 Robux, like I said. So, boom. Claim that. What we're going to get this time? 108 candy, strength totem, rainstone, ghost gummy, candy corn, warp device. So you get so much stuff by doing this. You really do. And this is how people have thousands of candy. Now, like I said, you can do this like a free-to-play. I am going to use a spooky pie night because that gives me 50% right there. So now we're going to spam this up again. And this is how people have thousands of candy. By doing this method and just spending Robux. And 39 Robux to go again. Boom. And claim. Let's see how much candy this time. 119 luck totem, luminate totem, warp device, solar magnifier, and ghost gummy. Nice. Claiming again. How much candy? 82 solar token, luck totem, strength totem, candy corn, warp device, and rainstone. So I'm actually getting luck and strength totems as well. Like, this cauldron is so OP. It really is. So if I literally spent like 1,000 Robux, I would be on the leaderboards. I actually would. That's kind of crazy. Boom! 67 candy. Rainstone, Ghost Gummy, Candy Corn, Warp Device. So that one was kind of a bad one. And claim. Come on. Big candy, big candy. 119. Solar Magnifier, Candy Corn, Luminate Totem, and Ghost Gummy. So we're now up to 1,552 candy. So I have made like over 500 candy just while we've been here. And I've probably spent like 200 Robux. But like I said, you don't have to spend Robux. But if you don't spend Robux, then you have to wait the 30 minutes, which is perfectly fine. The only reason I'm spending Robux, because I never normally would, is because I'm actually going away soon. So doing all this stuff, I kind of need to do before I go. 104 candy and a bunch of other stuff, including a snow globe. Nice. And we're going one last time. This is going to be my last time now, I think. Yeah, my last time. And come on. Big candy, big candy. 118 new Luminant Totem, Cosmic Resonator, Warp Device, Mythic Summon, and Candy Corn. So you guys pretty much get the idea behind this method. I have now got 1,700 candy. So if I spent like an extra 300 to 400 Robux, I would be on the top 50 players of candy collected. And that would only be like $5, literally. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not a type of person that likes to spend Robux in games unless it's like a game pass. I always buy game passes, but I never buy items like that. Like, I never brought a meteor shower. I've never brought totems from the shop. This is the first time I've ever spent money like in the shop that wasn't a game pass. But that is so I can craft all of these blueprints and get them before I go away. So this is 800, 550. So I would need 1350 and then 1650. So that is giving me enough candy for all of the blueprints. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you really enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. And I'll be back soon with the next video. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.